It started with a vibration under the pillow. I wasn't even fully asleep, just hovering in that fragile place between exhaustion and numbness. The kind of sleep you get when something feels off, but you can't prove it yet. My husband, Daniel, lay beside me, breathing slow, heavy, like he had no idea the world was about to change. Buzz. There it was again. I reached under the pillow and felt the familiar shape of his phone. His stupid little habit of sleeping on top of it, because he liked the warmth. What a lie. I turned the screen over. One new message: Alicia, can't stop thinking about earlier, miss your hands. My body went ice cold. It wasn't the message that destroyed me. It was the timestamp. 2:14 a.m. People don't text your husband at 2:14 a.m. unless they're either family or sleeping with him. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't scream or cry. I just stared at the name, Alicia, burning it into my brain like a brand. I lay the phone back down, faced away from him, and didn't sleep a second. By morning, I had a plan. Daniel left for work like nothing was wrong. Kissed me on the cheek. Told me I looked tired. Asked if I wanted him to pick up Thai for dinner. I smiled. Said, sure. Pad CEW. He had no idea. As soon as the door shut behind him, I locked it, grabbed my laptop, and opened a new browser tab. New email address, haravengagame@protonmail.com. New Facebook profile, Chloe Lane, single, model-esque, sultry eyes, wine glass in hand. The kind of woman my husband's eyes followed when he thought I wasn't looking. Photos pulled from Pinterest and old modeling pages. Just enough realness to pass scrutiny. Just enough mystery to hook a cheater. I followed Alicia's profile first. Hers was wide open, like she wanted to be caught. Half-naked selfies, cryptic captions. Only the bold get to taste fire. Her friend list was mostly men. One caught my eye, my husband. Of course. I crafted Chloe's first post. Feeling dangerous today, who wants to play? Within an hour, Alicia sent a friend request. Within 2, she sent a message. You seem familiar. My stomach twisted. Was that sarcasm? Coincidence? Or did she know? I replied. Maybe we've crossed paths. I'm told I leave an impression. She sent a wink emoji. You're exactly my type. I stared at the screen, hands trembling. The fake profile had worked. But it was already starting to feel like I was the one being hunted. I didn't expect her to be so quick. The moment I replied, Alicia was on me like a spider sensing movement in its web. Every message from her was calculated, but not in a robotic way. She was charming, flirty without trying too hard, confident without being arrogant. It wasn't hard to see what Daniel saw in her. What I couldn't understand was why she wanted to talk to Chloe. My fake profile was just another pretty face, another internet stranger. Yet Alicia latched on fast, too fast. It was as if she had been waiting for Chloe to show up all along. You have really sexy energy, she wrote. Like someone who isn't afraid to take what she wants. I typed and erased 3 replies before settling on. That depends on what's being offered. She replied within seconds. Sometimes the best things are already owned, but badly treated. Don't you agree? My throat tightened. Was she talking about Daniel? Was this some sick game? Or was it just a coincidence? I needed more. For days, we messaged constantly. I kept screenshots of everything, pictures, texts, her voice notes. I was building a folder the size of a criminal case. But something felt wrong. She knew too much. Too many convenient things came up in conversation. She accidentally mentioned restaurants Daniel and I had been to. She said she loved blue striped ties on men, the exact kind Daniel wore every other Friday. She even said, "You remind me of someone's wife I know. But hotter." Then she sent a winking emoji. Was she mocking me? Or was it more than that? One night, I got bold. I messaged. Tell me about your worst secret. One you've never told anyone. She didn't hesitate. I once fell in love with a married man, and I wasn't the only one keeping secrets. I paused. What do you mean? Her response came in 3 dots, then vanished. Then again. Then finally. Let's just say, if his wife knew half of what I know, she'd leave. Or break. I'm betting on the second. My heart slammed against my ribs. She was threatening me. But she didn't know it was me she was talking to. Or did she? Was I losing control of the game? I had to meet her. Face to face. No more hiding. So I typed the words that changed everything. Let's meet. I want to see you in person. Just us. She replied with a heart. I was hoping you'd say that. We agreed to meet at a hotel bar downtown. Neutral ground. Public. Expensive enough to feel safe, intimate enough to feel dangerous. I chose it deliberately. I needed to see her up close, to look her in the eye and see what kind of woman thought she could steal my life. Daniel thought I was having a girls' night. I didn't even blink when I told him. Just smiled sweetly and said, "Don't wait up." At 7:49 p.m., I walked into the velvet-lit bar, nerves buzzing like static under my skin. I wore my darkest lipstick, tied my hair in a high, sleek ponytail, and dressed like a woman who had nothing to lose. She was already there. Sitting at the far end of the bar. Wearing red. Of course she was. Alicia looked beautiful. But not just in the typical way. She looked designed. As if every part of her had been created for seduction, eyes that studied you like prey, lips that never fully smiled, posture that invited attention while daring you to approach. I watched from across the room. She was sipping wine. Alone. Calm. I walked toward her slowly, heart hammering so hard I thought she might hear it echo across the floor. She didn't look up until I was right beside her. She turned, and smirked. I was wondering when you'd finally come, she said. I froze. My fake profile hadn't said anything about me coming. She was expecting Chloe. But the look in her eyes? She knew. You're Alicia, I said, keeping my voice neutral. She nodded, took a sip. And you're Daniel's wife. Or should I say, ex-wife in the making? 1,000 responses flooded my head. But I said nothing. She tapped her glass. Don't look so shocked. You weren't hard to find. Your pictures. Your little anniversary posts. Honestly, I was disappointed it took you this long. My hands clenched under the bar. Why? I asked, voice tight. Why him? She leaned in, eyes glowing. Oh, sweetheart. You think this is about him? I blinked. Daniel was just the key. You were the door. Alicia pulled something from her bag. A folder. She pushed it toward me. Inside were photos. Not of her and Daniel. Of me. Me at the grocery store. Me at work. Me walking our dog. Some were taken through windows. Others in my own home. I've been watching you for months, she whispered. Studying you. Learning you. I didn't steal your husband, darling. I'm replacing you. I stumbled to my feet, barely holding my balance. She smiled up at me like a cat. Leave Daniel if you want. Or stay. Doesn't matter. The destruction's already begun. I walked out before I could scream. But outside, I gasped like I'd been holding my breath underwater. Who the hell was this woman? And how did she know so much about me? I didn't go home that night. I sat in my car for hours, parked in a dim corner of a gas station lot, the folder Alicia gave me lying in the passenger seat like a bomb. I stared at those photos, me, in my own world, unaware I was being hunted. She hadn't just found me. She had studied me. Every angle, every routine, every smile I posted online, she had turned into ammunition. When I finally walked through my front door at 3 a.m., Daniel was asleep. I stood over him for a full minute. Watching. Wondering. Was he a pawn? A fool? Or a co-conspirator? The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I went into his study while he was showering and opened the bottom drawer of his locked file cabinet. The one he never let me near. He had changed the key code. But Daniel wasn't as clever as he thought. I tried our anniversary date. Click. Inside were documents, printed emails, and a photo of Alicia. An old one. A younger version. Smiling. Happy. There was a handwritten note paper clipped to the back. One word, underlined 3 times. Deceased. I felt the world tilt. What the hell? When Daniel came downstairs, I was waiting. You told me she was just some girl. He froze. What are you talking about? Alicia, I snapped. The woman you've been sleeping with. The woman who's been stalking me. Who knew our dog's name? His face drained of color. He sat down. Silent. Swallowed hard. Then he whispered. Alicia's not just someone I dated. She was my ex-fiancé. We were together before I met you. And you just forgot to mention that she's alive and unhinged? He shook his head violently. No. You don't understand. She disappeared. Vanished. Her family thought she was dead. They held a funeral. I stared at him in horror. And now she's back. Pretending she doesn't know me. Pretending we're strangers. Pretending you're some new conquest. He looked at me, haunted. She's not pretending. That's the worst part. I didn't understand. He stood up, opened a drawer, and pulled out an old journal. Inside were pages of letters, unmailed, scrawled in shaky handwriting. All addressed to her. I'd been writing to her for years. Trying to get closure. She never replied. I held up the folder. She replied, all right. She just used a different game board. That night, I got another message. From Alicia. On the Chloe account. He finally told you, didn't he? About the funeral? The letters? Tell me, darling. Do you still think you're the one in control? I couldn't sleep. Not even close. I stared at my own reflection for hours, wondering how much of my life was real, how much of me was ever truly safe. Alicia had been circling me like a predator long before I noticed. And Daniel, he wasn't lying, but he wasn't innocent either. He had buried the truth. And now it was clawing its way back through me. I had one option left, confront her on my terms. I invited her to my house. Yes. My house. Alicia responded like she'd been waiting for the invitation her whole life. Wine or whiskey, she replied. Or are you planning to poison me? Just bring your truth, I wrote back. Everything else, I already have. She arrived wearing white. Who wears white to a war? She walked in like she owned the place. Smiling. Studying every picture on the walls. Every couch crease. Every wine glass. Every scent of me that still lingered in the air. Nice place, she said. I always wondered how it would feel to stand here. To breathe in your life. I stood across from her. Calm. Ice cold. Why me? I asked. She tilted her head, mock innocent. You don't remember me, do you? I blinked. We met once. Years ago. You were laughing outside a coffee shop. He was already with me. But he looked at you like you were light. I was just shadow. You passed me without a second glance, but I saw everything. Her voice cracked, barely. He left me for you. Said he fell in love with someone better. I swallowed. So this is revenge? She laughed bitterly. No. This is a replacement. She stepped closer. Her voice dropped. I wanted to know what it felt like to be you. And you made it so easy. Your smile. Your routines. Your predictable, perfect little life. I stared at her. That's why you stalked me? She leaned in. No. I stalked you because you were everything he wanted, and I was left in the ashes. I needed to become you. To erase you. Because that's what you did to me, even if you didn't know it. I picked up the folder. Held it up. You wanted my life? You can have it. But here's the part you didn't study close enough, I'm not the fragile one. You are. I handed her a second folder. Police records. Surveillance shots. Voice recordings. All tied back to her. You crossed into obsession, Alicia. And now? Now you're going to disappear for real. She froze. And for the first time, she looked scared. But she smiled. He still loves me, you know. Somewhere inside him. That's what keeps you awake at night, isn't it? I didn't answer. She turned to leave, whispering just before the door shut. It's not over. The silence afterward was deafening. I still don't know what scared me more, that she was capable of everything she'd done. Or that some small, dark part of me understood her. Because I had created a fake profile to trap my husband's mistress. But in the end, she had trapped me. And now I keep asking myself. Did I win, or did she just choose a different way to haunt me? What would you have done? Please comments.